Let's do it.
Pick a skill from any NBA legend, athlete, or player, including the emoji.
I would take Giannis's height.
If you got to choose your own walk-up song, what would it be?
Um, that's a good question. Probably "Threat" by Jay-Z.
Last one. What's a topic that you know more about than anybody in the locker room?
Everything. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Probably baseball.
Oh yeah, go Guards.
Go Guards. That was my. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead. You got it.
Donovan, as the leader of this ball club, you guys are the freaking new faces to come out of the East. Just how exciting is it to be back in the trenches, and what steps do you feel that you need to take in order for the team to make the next level?
I mean, obviously, you're excited. Ooh, you're excited to be back, ready to go, locked in. Um, it's kind of at a point now where it's just time to go get it. Like you know what I mean. I think for us, not really worried about where we're seated, where we're slated. We got to go out there and handle business. Doesn't matter if we're number one, number eight. At the end of the day, we got to handle our business. So I'm excited. The group's excited. And yeah, for me, I think just being able to take my game to another level in all facets, whether that's scoring, passing, rebounding, playing defense, being in better shape, all the different things that come with that. I think there's a mental push. I think physically, guys, we understand. I think there's a want to, which is what makes what I'm about to say easier. You can't really have a mental push if you don't want to be there and want to grow. So that's first and foremost. I think just being mentally understanding, like, all right, like this physically you can be there, but mentally, can we continue to push through that? Like we've run into the same wall 3 times in a row, so to speak, and mentally you could stop and quit. So are we? And I'm saying are we, but I know the answer. But are we willing to every day continue to hit your head against the wall and keep pounding and keep going as we continue to make this push? And I think we are, and I believe we are.
Kenny was talking last week about how his entry point with the team, he felt like his hair was on fire to get the French national team. And he's trying to work with you guys at the
Yeah,
same
he had a
time.
lot going on for
Yeah.
sure.
So, given that he's so player development centric, what is the value of having a full summer, full off season with him?
For me or for the group or for in general? I think it's huge. I think you will see it as the season progresses. I think it's very unfortunate that DG and Max are out, but I think that will put to test right away what you're speaking on. I think you're going to see a lot of guys that maybe the world may not know right now, but I think you're going to start to see just because of the work that they've put in. They've spent a lot of time here, the Craig Porters of the world, the Jalen Tysons, Naquan, who's been phenomenal, Tyrese, Luke Travers. Like, there's a lot of guys that I think are really going to benefit from being with Kenny for a full summer. And then obviously, myself, Ev, DG, Dre, like, being able to JA, excuse me, like the Max, like everybody, I think you're going to see a natural progression. But it's not guaranteed. We still got to go out there and do what we got to do.
How big is the addition of Lonzo Ball for the ball club?
Big time. I think, he's a guy that sees the floor naturally. He's a defender. He's a guy that we came into the league together, same draft class, and he's always been a pest defensively. But his knowledge, his IQ, his cerebral part of the game, I think will help us a lot.
What's your reaction when Kobe said that you were in mid-season form already? What does that mean to you?
Like the fifth person to ask me that. What does that mean? I mean, I made a point to be ready earlier. I think, especially once Max went down. Honestly, really, once I got that phone call, I think within the next 2 days, a mental shift just happened. Just understanding that what's going to be required, not being Superman, but understanding that being ready for what's necessary. Understanding that we have enough talent in this room to win. You know, as much as you saw, we led the led the East last year and win. So, for me, I'm just saying I'm ready for whatever. It's it's um, it's just time. I really don't have any other way to describe it. It's just like I'm ready to go, and I understand at the same token it's a long journey too. So not being stupid with the process, but also understanding that my body is ready for whatever's needed. Um, and it's better to be here and have to scale it back than be catching up because that's where bad things start to happen injury wise and all that good stuff. So ready to go and kind of setting the tone. It's just like, all right, it's time to go.
You've done the Prime video.
So.
How do you balance that with obviously wanting to be ready to go in the spring? It doesn't really matter, but also having to make up for no Darius for a while, no Max for a while, and even if you have young guys that you believe in, having to kind of shoulder more of a load and just helping them.
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance. It's a tough balance. It's not something that, I mean, if it was easy, everybody would just follow the blueprint, right? I think having that balance in each situation is different. I think for me, I just was like, look, I'm just gonna be in the best shape possible, maybe ready to go, and if I need to adjust, I need to adjust. Not really being, naive and saying, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna do it. Like, hey, if we get to November or we get to October and it's like, hey, we need to scale it back, we need to scale it back. But I'd rather be there than saying, hey, you need to spend extra 4 hours in the gym because now I'm playing catch up and then we got to go win basketball games on top of already being, hobbled at the guard spot. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be prepared and then have to kind of adjust from that than anything else.
During the offseason,
Oh, sorry, I got you, Adam.
you talked this summer about Evan becoming MVP.
Mm-hmm.
What role can you play, or what role do you play in helping him get to that level of greatness?
I think for me, just continuing what we've been doing. I'm in his ear. Obviously, our lockers are right next to each other. We shoot together. Constant communication. But I think for me, just the level of empowerment, continuing to play through mistakes, continue to take his level to take his game to a different level. And like I said to Chris, there's a want to that I think helps and makes this a lot easier. It's not like I'm trying to pry this out of him. You know what I'm saying? He's just as committed to being as great as I am to saying that he is, which makes it easier. And I think, with guys being out, it'll come to the forefront a lot faster, especially this season. Because as much as I talk about I'm in shape, he's ready to go too. And also understanding, hey, like, you got it. Like, I'm going to go over here. Like, go run this. Like, I mean, it's not that black and white, but, like, you know what I mean? Just like, hey, understanding he's ready for that and he wants that. So I'm excited for him.
During the offseason, you're featured on the Prime Video ad. You did NBC during the playoffs with that ground ball block. What's it like for you being now one of the top faces in the NBA, but also the league showcasing some of the younger faces?
Yeah, I think it's special that the league is, obviously for myself, it means I'm doing something right on the floor. But I also think, what the league is doing, continuing to empower and show the faces of everybody, small market, big market, wherever. I think that's really what our game has been missing. I think speaking positively, showing a positive light on everywhere, because there's a lot of talent in this league. I think there's a lot more exposure that a lot of guys in this league need to continue to get, and I think the league is trending that way. I think that's what this new deal is really starting to show, and obviously I've talked to a lot of people about that. So I think it's special. I think you're going to see a lot of that. I think Evan's going to be a big beneficiary of that, just because obviously he's going to raise his game to already be there. It's not going to be something that needs to go get sought after the show, but like I think you're going to see crowds that weren't speaking about Evan as much are going to see that. Same like crowds that are speaking about, well, I guess they won the championship, but like Shea, what they were talked about, Tyrese Halliburton, like all the guys, myself, you got guys in smaller markets who are being talked about the way they should be because there's so much talent in this league, and I think that's what you're starting to see the league doing. It's special.
One more question.
I'll do both of y'all. You go ahead. I got you after. Go ahead. How do I say this? I think the biggest thing is just understand that we just got to keep going. Sorry I gave you the political answer, but like that's really all I got. It's like we just got to keep going and be ready for what the season brings.
So Lonzo Ball has a reputation of being a good defender.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what goes into that mindset in a league where everybody wants to shoot the ball?
Okay, I think the are you talking about why he would want to shoot the ball? Like, are you talking about?
Why he seems to be defensive first.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think it's a bigger discussion. I think, in a league that encourages if you can score, you find your way on the floor, we'll figure the rest out. I think that's just what that is. There's not many guys in the league that are just, hey, I'm a shutdown defender. That's what makes Lonzo special. I think that's what makes Evan special. I mean, obviously he can do both, but and not to say Lonzo can't, but Ev is, obviously 7 feet and doing that is different. But I think it's just something that it's a mindset, and I respect the hell out of Lonzo for having that mindset while also being a competitor that he is on the offensive end. So I'm glad he's on our side now, doing all the stuff that he does defensively for sure.
Donovan, is there an area in your game that you wanted to work on the most this offseason? The great ones always try to improve maybe something that they felt was lacking. Is there an area you wanted to improve on?
Yeah, I think I always talk about my playmaking. I don't feel like that gets enough credit. So I think obviously making the right reads, making the right plays, and it may not always lead to assists. I think when we think of playmaking, we think of creating shots for each individual. Sometimes it's just simply throwing the ball from pass ahead, or if there's a help at the nail, passing across, or just simple one pass ahead. And if I don't get the assist, I don't get the assist. But putting guys in a position to attack a closeout, using my gravity to create movement and shots for everybody.
No more questions. All done. All done.
Good.
Thank you, Donovan.
I see that you're recently engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does it feel to be engaged to Miss amazing Coco Jones?
Man, that's my dog. I love her to death. She's amazing. She's an amazing human being. She brings me peace. And getting to spend time with her on tour was something that was very unique because you realize that she travels and works just as hard as we do on the tour bus, up late nights. She's a special human, and you see it in her work. And to be able to call her my fiance, my wife, is a blessing. So I'm grateful.